So all this time, we've been laughing and kind of thinking that you may actually be insecure. But oh my gosh, you really are insecure. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Married to Medicine. This is season 7, episode 12. I really am shocked. I'm really shocked. Um, so I go like this, up and down when it comes to Dr. Heavenly. But I never really thought. I thought she had some insecurities, but I never thought that she was insecure to this level. Wow. Anyway, we're going to talk about it. But let's start right here with the Mexican messy boots questions. They were all sitting down around the table and they did this whole little thing with these messy questions. And the questions really were all derived from different problems that they've all had. And a lot of the questions, it was funny to me because some questions you knew exactly who they were geared from, and some just kind of crisscrossed over so badly that it was hitting a couple. So it was like being in a rock fight. There was a lot of them questions that were crisscrossing across some tables and hitting a couple different couples. So, but the people who did the worst at this whole situation was definitely Contessa and Scott. Contessa and Scott failed miserably. Um, and I can't even sum it up any better than Cecil and Simone did in their confessional when they were like, Scott was like this, yapping, and he needed to be like this and just shutting up. Scott was talking, and the more he talked, the bigger the hole started to get, and it was like, oh, Scott, just shut up. Just shut up. And Contessa just literally just needs to simmer down. You need to simmer down and get a hold of yourself because it's like y'all are. I don't know. I thought y'all were in a place where things were going to get better really soon, but no, it's like things like y'all are going to. It's boiling to a point where it's like y'all are getting ready to run over out of the pot. Is what it looks like, and I don't like it. I just don't like it at all. Um, she ended up getting up and running off, and he's like, just let her go. Let her go. Let her go. Which I kind of understand that because, again, remember, she has a military background and she's probably best to let go to deal with her anger on her own. They don't understand that around that table because, they are very much of the nature that what works for me in my household, that's got to be what works for you in your household. And that is not how life is at all. And they are very, very judgmental. They're very judgmental. But when it comes to them as far as anger, I think they both do better when they separate out. Because if they stay together, they just gonna keep going at each other. And she said it. She said it herself because Buffy ended up going after Contessa. Now, when Buffy went after Contessa, Buffy, again, the things that work at your house ain't gonna work down at her house. See, you over there telling her about how, girl, you need to go ahead and call him out. No, you're married to that little quiet white man. If she go and call Scott out, baby, it's going to be a whole issue. If you knowingly, literally go at him and embarrass him in front of all your friends, baby, y'all going to have a whole issue. And she knows it. Girl, don't you listen to that damn Buffy. Buffy going to have you marriageless. Okay? Now, you could do that with your father's mustache over there with your husband. But girl, Scott, she ain't going to get away with that with Scott. Not at all. Don't listen to her. But we did find out, I didn't realize that she literally left the military for Scott because she was happy being in the military. She was happy with her military situation and she left for her marriage and for Scott. She literally put that down. And then when she said that he never one time brought those children to Nashville, Scott, you out of order. Scott, you are out of order. You're out of order. Now, I've been kind of spanking her on her wrist this whole time. I thought they were like kind of just keeping everything going. I had no idea that the whole time she was gone, he never one time took those children to Nashville to see their mother. That she was the one that was making the commute. The whole, you're out of order, Scott. You're out of order. And then when she said that there was times that she would drive up and then turn around and drive back in the same day, why'd you even let your wife do that? Like, Scott, you out of order. Flat out. You out of order. You did kind of just put it all on her. Y'all got a lot of child. That's all botched up, honey. But yeah, y'all got to get a hold of that, and just don't listen to Buffy, Joe. Don't listen to. The answer is not going at your husband, honey. You're not supposed to go at your husband, and your husband not supposed to go at you. Y'all ain't supposed to go at each other. That's why y'all are married, because y'all love each other. People who love each other ain't supposed to really be going at each other. But like I said, now if she wants to do that down there with your grandfather's mustache, she can do that. And that shit ain't gonna work, Travels. I haven't told you. But she said it herself. Well, she said, I don't want any problems. Good girl. That bitch said, I don't want no problems, honey. I know that's right. So, but the thing about that I've noticed with Contessa and Scott, they're saying the same things. Like when they get in their confessionals, they say the same things about knowing what it is that they need to do to save the relationship. They're saying the same things, yet they're both doing the opposite. Child, y'all running around. Y'all acting like brother and sister instead of husband and wife right now. Y'all need to get together. Anyway, look, I'm rooting for Scott and Contessa. They still one of my faves, because I love Cecil and Cecil and damn crazy ass Simone, and I live for Scott and Contessa. I got hope for them. I think they're gonna be just fine. They're gonna be fine, but they got to get on track and don't listen to Buffy. Okay, moving on. So they separated out. The ladies did their thing this night, and the guys did their thing. This is when it get interesting. So the ladies ended up doing this living single celebration for Quad. That was really cute. It was really cute. Right as it was starting, Jackie actually sat with Buffy and she apologized. And she told her I was wrong for what I did. I was wrong for putting just putting everything on you and just feeling like you should go along with what my program was. And I'm wrong. I was wrong. So that was that. So that's the end of that. But we all know, well, a lot of people don't know. That's not the first time Jackie apologized. That's the first time you all have seen it on screen that Jackie apologized. That's part of why Jackie got so upset, because she already apologized to Buffy. But whatever, that's a whole nother story for another time. I ain't ready to argue about all that information with y'all. But just know that when you seen it on screen tonight, that was apology number 2, not apology number 1. But anyway, so she apologized, and that's that. And tell me, is it just me? Or did Buffy still seem like, yeah, okay, girl, I heard you, but because that's what he gave. Whatever. So that was that. Contessa apologized to all the ladies about her behavior earlier in the day. Which that probably wasn't even necessary, because everybody was kind of unbothered. They were like, girl, everything's okay, that's fine. I did notice I was laughing at Toya and Mariah. Y'all some hating asses. They had little confessionals and little smart things to say that just didn't even shift the atmosphere, because nobody cares. Nobody cares what y'all hating on Quad. Like, well, the both of them didn't even want her there. So, of course, you knew there was going to be some hate coming. But they weren't too bad. They didn't act too bad. But, there were little things said, but it didn't even shift how anybody felt. It's like, y'all shut up, child. Anyway, so they did that little thing. It was cute. Nothing real big. They gave her a vibrator. And then what ended up happening, I've noticed that in the media, in our social media, and see, this is something I don't like. I really don't. I like to do my reviews and I like to ignore social media, but I'm finding that it is becoming detrimental to my presence down here on the YouTube streets that I do my reviews that way. It seems as though I'm going to have to start paying attention to what goes on in real time to keep some of this arguing down, because people are really paying a lot of attention now to what's not on screen. I'm noticing in my comments, people are paying attention to what's being done present day. This is months back. I report on only what I've seen in the show. I do a review of what I watched on television, what stuck out to me. I don't do reviews. I don't do a play by play. I don't do scene by scene. That's not my style of review. So I'm not for the person that doesn't have cable and wants to know exactly what happened in the show, blow by blow by blow by blow. That's not what I'm here for. I don't do a recap. I do a review. And in my review, I talk about the things that stuck out to me. What was funny or what was bothersome to me. Not to you, to me. I'm not recapping the show for you. If you want to watch the show and you want to know how it all went down, scene by scene by scene, you either have to find another reviewer or you have to get you a subscription to Xfinity, Fios, or DirecTV like I do. You have to pay a cable bill every month like I do. Now, with that being said, let's move on. But like I said, I'm going to make a better effort of not, because I literally ignore. Like when people will send me stuff about what's going on in real time, most times, like literally 98% of the time, I will ignore it because I don't want to be talking about what's going on in the present time. But for you all, I'm going to change up a little bit. I'm a tree, I can bend. I'm going to start paying a little attention to what's going on in social media. I'm not going to break out and start following people because I don't. I don't follow all the people on these shows. There's very few of them that I actually follow. I don't follow them. I'm still not going to do that. But I will pay a little more attention to what's going on so that sometimes I won't miss things. Because Basketball Wives, I was completely out of the loop because I had no idea about the things that were going on. And then I was like halfway through the season when I realized what was really going on present time. I was still working off of what was on the show. Anyway, enough with that. Down off my soapbox, but I'm bam it. I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to do it the way I do it. If you don't like the way that I do what I do, there's a door. And I ain't trying to be rude. I'm being real with you. I'm not going to argue with y'all in them comments. I'm not going to be abused by y'all in them comments. If you don't like the way James does his reviews, YouTube has tons of reviewers. There is the door. And that I'm not taking back. But I will make an effort to switch up some things a little bit, but I'm not going to change the way I do things. I do reviews. I don't do recaps. Period. Okay, so now I said all of that to go into this. Now, there was a whole little thing there, which it really wasn't a real big deal, but yet in the media, it's starting to be a big deal. They're putting 20 on 10. There was a comment when they were playing what is it? Shag, kill, marry or something like that. Well, you know them little games they play. And they were going around and the girls were doing who would you lay with, who would you marry, and who would you kill. And when it got to Quad, Heavenly spoke out and said it would be common. It would be common that she would marry. And then she said, well, she had already screwed him. It was a joke. It was a joke. And when you watched it on the show, it just came off as a joke. Everybody knows Quad is uber sensitive. The fact that Common has actually been on Sister Circle, and she said that, he was down on Sister Circle, but it was just Heavenly being Heavenly, and she was making a joke. Of course, they spliced it out, and you see Quad making this whole face, but it was not that big of a deal. It was a joke. It was a joke. I didn't take it serious. I didn't believe that Quad screwed Common. Everybody knows Common is in a relationship. It's public. Everybody knows this. That likes Common. Okay? Listen, trust me. He ain't no bad choice. If you got to jump on somebody, baby, and you say you want to jump on Common, I'll hold your skirt up while you do it. But he not available. Common has a woman. Happy with her. Been with her for a while here. And it's public. So it was a joke. Honey, the media, they had already started a little storm, baby. And they had little things rolling. That the Quad was gonna be mad with Heavenly, and why they putting their friendship. It ain't even all that, y'all. I promise you. I promise you that 20 is being put on 10 at this point. It was a joke. It was a joke. Quad ain't screwed Common. Common ain't think about Quad. Quad can't marry Common because Common's already taken. Okay? He's not married, but he's taken. Enough. So, again, I will pay attention a little more to what's going on present day so I'm able to bring y'all this kind of stuff when stuff is popping off and I won't be lost in the sauce. But yeah, if you go looking around today, honey, they got it going on with this Quad versus Dr. Heavenly, and surely Heavenly will be putting out a review sometime today, I'm sure, and I'm sure she'll speak to it as well. But yeah, child, stop putting 20 on 10, child. They are friends. It was a joke. And we do know Quad she's sensitive, but she ain't that sensitive. She knows Heavenly. That was a joke. Anyway, moving on. Okay, the guys went for dinner. Nice. They went to a nice place. Had dinner. They were having a good time. Messy Grimace. Old Grimace with his messy self. He's over there asking Dave, after what happened earlier, was he okay and all of this? Of course he's okay. And Dave said, Buffy's my wife. I support my wife, but everything's good. We all good. I'm like, you are so goddamn. He is truly the male version of Toya. Just a mess. But that man is fine. The men are always fine. They don't bicker and argue amongst each other and get all bent out of shape when them girls be acting a fool. So they did all that. Then they had a little conversation. They were talking about threesomes. And I was laughing at none of the couples were really open for threesomes. Okay, so the guys ended up going to a Mexican strip club. And I was looking. Okay, so listen. This is going to be out of order. It's out of order. But I was like, I kept looking and slowing things down and looking. Because I was like, these chests look awful flat around here, honey. I was like, what is going on? There was some sad, them women was sad. I was like, they were really sad. These ones that were there, they look like lady boys, is what they were looking like. And I was like, man, I know they ain't got them down to the wrong strip. And they up in there with the lady boys, honey. But that's what they look like until the one girl came. She was She was built up real nice, but she had big old, it was fake, child. They was sitting up so perky. The girl who actually came down and sat on Dr. Damon and said, "You want sex, puppy?" I said, "Uh-oh." I said, "Oh, no." Now, she was bad. Now, she was built bad. But all them other girls, they look like lady boys. I was like, what is going on? Just me. Leave it in the comments. I know y'all probably be saying, James, you out of order. I probably am out of order, but they look like lady boys, honey. I was like, okay, I don't know about that. Anyway, but yeah, she was all on Damon, baby. She was on him heavy and strong, okay? So that next day, the men were asleep. Baby, them text messages got to flying real quick. And of course, the first two that you saw talking, Aiden and them two henpeck ones, Aiden and Grimace, was the first two telling it. I said, oh my God, but they all ended up telling. And then, baby, that doggone Heavenly, she was out doing her own thing. And baby, when them text messages started flying, she went right on up there and woke Damon up and started bothering Damon. And he was like, buddy, I ain't done nothing. He's like, this is crazy. Like, you did everything. You do whatever you want. I treat you like a queen. And then the first time anything happens, you act like I'm doing you wrong. Like, are you kidding? And she was so mad. And I was like, are you kidding me? I was so shocked. Because I always take it more as a joke when Heavenly starts this about I don't like nobody in my man's face and all. But I didn't realize she was really that insecure when it comes to Damon. Girl, Damon ain't going nowhere. Damon ain't going nowhere. But yeah, girl, you need to check that. That's wow. That's something that could be detrimental. The fact that I don't think he's going to leave you or go anywhere, but stuff like that, Heavenly. Come on, you're supposed to be this marriage counselor person and all. Don't you realize what you displayed on that screen will make women go for your man? It will make them target him at the fact that they know you are so insecure. Everybody knows now. Anybody that watches this show knows now. You want to get it Heavenly? Baby, go at Damon. Go at Damon. And I mean, we knew it before, but they really know it. They really know it. So it just kind of made me think back. So you was really, really mad when Mariah and them said that Damon was trying to holler at Shoot Lucy. You was really mad for real. Oh, Heavenly. Are you serious? No, girl. You all right. That man ain't going nowhere. I was worked. And you were worked. You were completely worked by about a woman that you, and if you would have seen the woman Heavenly trust, well, you see it. Girl, when they rolled the tape for you, you probably were real pissed when you seen the broad that jumped over there in his face. You were probably good and pissed because she was bad. She was bad. Now, I ain't gonna take that from her. She was surrounded by a bunch of lady boys, but that broad was bad, honey. I said, poor thing. Then she got out there and she's sitting talking to Simone and Jackie, and I think they were kind of thrown back at how worked she was behind that little situation. That's something you don't ever want to let women know. You don't want to let another woman know that you can be that far worked about your husband. Girl, they will get you. Do you hear me? Get you. And you should know this because you talking about you going to counsel people. You need to know this and you need to work on that. Seriously, like yesterday, girl. Anyway, then she even snapped on the producers and when she was trying to lay down her confessional. She was mad as hell. She was mad. Heavenly. Shame on you. Girl, that man ain't going nowhere, girl. Pull yourself together, sis.